All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's absolutely great to be here, and we are starting off right now. So, wherever it is that you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's 7 o'clock in my neck of the wood, and it's time to connect. All right. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the last Sunday in the month of July 2026, and we are starting off with a bang. I'm absolutely excited. I trust that your week that has gone by went really well, and you were able to, get some goals smashed in, able to achieve some things that you have set your heart and your mind to be able to do that gave credence to your hands to deploy. And so, yeah, we are taking our Sunday tonic that launches us into the new week and into the rest of the year. I'm particularly excited for three reasons, and I'll get through all three reasons shortly. But first of all, I can see some activity on Facebook. I'm seeing some activity on link on YouTube as well. So I'm giving a minute for more folks to join in and share the link with your friends, share the link with your community, share the link with your colleagues. I mean, everybody needs to be a part of this episode. There's always that episode. This is that episode, all right? This is that episode. So I'm absolutely excited. My phone is buzzing right now. People, sending messages, logging in, and all of that. So I'm just going to do a quick check on my dashboard to be sure that, all right, to be sure that we're live. All right, so I'm getting the live link right there. Let me forward it out to a couple of key stakeholders that I need to have the link. All right, great, fantastic. All right, so I'm done. I'm ready, and we're ready to go. Right. So, my name is AU. I never assume that everybody here knows me, so I always try to do this as often as I remember to introduce myself. So I said I was excited about three things. I can't wait to get into today's episode. Well, first of all, I'm excited about three things. Number one, I'm excited about the gift of life. With all these intricacies, ups and downs, and everything, the fact that I'm counted amongst the living, and I have another opportunity for God to show me the unforced rhythms of grace. I think that's an amazing thing, and it's what some everybody should be excited about. Number two, I'm excited because on the 9th of August, like I announced last Sunday, this show, this virtual fireside chat, The Connect, will be 6 years old. Right. And what's intriguing, I was just sharing with my guest behind the scenes just before I came up. What's intriguing for me was usually in other years that have gone by, we have to do the anniversary print from the date. But the beauty of this is happening on the 9th of August, which is a Sunday, and the very first edition of the Connect happened on a Sunday, the 9th of August in the year 2020. It was amazing, and I'm absolutely excited about that. I look forward to the anniversary episode, and trust me, it's going to be a blast. We're working hard to ensure that we celebrate it. 6 years is not a joke. Sunday in, Sunday out. We've had over 243. This is actually the 244th episode of the Connect, and we painstakingly noted every episode. All right. The first episode had four people in the studio: myself, Sandy Akanieni, and by the way, today's Sandy's birthday. So happy birthday, Sandy, wherever you are. You're somewhere on this call. Happy birthday to you, Sandy. And we had Orok Uno and Remy Daniels. Those were the four people. We were the four people that opened up the very first episode of the Connect. And how amazing it has been, 244 episodes. Wow. And here we are. And then the third thing that has me all absolutely excited is today's episode. And it's not just that we have the thing about productivity series. What really has me excited is my guest. who I have on the seat. I know you've seen the flyers. I know you know who's on, but still, you cannot take away from my excitement. I mean, I'm still going to unveil him like a surprise. By the way, I promised him that I wasn't going to bring on any surprise guests. I wasn't going to do it to him. He was my surprise guest about a couple of weeks ago or so, or sometime in the month of June, if I remember right. I think sometime in the month of June. But it's amazing to have him join us today. So we're going to get straight to it because we need to make the most of the time. All right. So if you're on the red streets of YouTube, send me a message in your comment section, wherever it is that you're commenting from. We're going to get it right here in the studio. If you're on the blue streets of Facebook, do the same. Do share the link and get as many people as you know, as you're connected to be part of the Connect. All right. So today is the third episode of the Thing About Productivity series. Amazing time we had with Nancy Ogwe last week, marketing specialist, and we had a great conversation touching on different aspects. What's ahead today? No, you just have to be a part of this. I'm not letting out the stuff, but I'm going to bring in my guest into the studio almost immediately. Now, I was a bit conflicted as to should I bring him in and then read his profile, or no. Let me read his profile, then I will bring him in. All right, then I will bring him in. Okay, so let me get his profile right away. He's a teacher. He's a pastor. He's a leadership strategist. He's a clarity coach. He's an author. He's a medical doctor. Dr. Temi, Pastor Temi, however you want to identify with him. Um, his life's work is centered on helping people. Now, I've known him for over 2 decades. I mean, I was doing a count just today, and I was like, yeah, because it's been I think it was about 2003 or so that I walked into the space where it was. Then in House on the Rock, Abuja, I walked into it, and I was like, my goodness! And guess what? He was the one preaching that day, and it was just before. I think it was before Jam Mega Festival or something. Yeah, so he was the one preaching, and I listened to him, and I said, there's a connection here, right? Okay, so his life's work is centered on helping people and organizations and his congregation move from confusion to clarity. You can't separate Dr. Timmy from clarity. Yeah, I'm telling you, you know the way you can't separate me from alignment. You can't separate Dr. Timmy from clarity. All right, and and from potential to purposeful execution. Um, with his medical background, he combines analytical thinking with profound spiritual insights, making him uniquely positioned. And this is why we saved him for today, making him uniquely positioned to bridge faith, leadership, organizational effectiveness, and personal transformation. Currently serving as the lead pastor at House on the Rock, London. All right, the London Lighthouse. Dr. Jedide has spent decades, and this is no small feat. Decades developing leaders across ministry. I mean, I'm one. I'm testimony to it, right? Developing leaders across ministry, business, and government. Before relocating to London, he served for over 12 years in House on the Rock, the Refuge, Abuja, where he held significant leadership responsibilities, including organizational administration, profoundly effective, finance, leadership development, marriage and singles ministry. Yeah. And church systems. He's a system builder. And you know how my heart goes out to all system builders. He's a system builder, popularly known as the clarity coach, or as I like to call him, the demystifier. He will talk about something and break it down into detail. You see, I learn from the best guys. All right, and he possesses a very rare and now this one you can't trifle with. He possesses a very rare ability to simplify complex ideas and convert abstract principles into practical frameworks that produce measurable results. His philosophy is that lasting transformation begins with, again, clarity, clarity of identity, purpose, thinking, thought, priorities, and execution. His passion extends beyond inspiration, way beyond inspiration, to equipping leaders with practical tools for decision making, leadership effectiveness, intelligent prayer. You, excuse me. You can't know Dr. Temi and not know intelligent prayer. All right. Um, excuse me. Organizational growth and sustainable impact. Whether he's speaking to his congregation or he's speaking to executives or he's speaking to entrepreneurs or to co-pastors, his emphasis remains consistent. Productive lives are built intentionally through disciplined thoughts, wise leadership, and purposeful thinking. He is, all right, he is the 109th guest on the Connect. The 109th guest on the Connect. And it's simply amazing to have him here. I'm trying to bring him on. So he's going to be with us shortly. That's if he's not already in the studio. I'm trying to bring him on right now. Okay, he's the 109th guest, and it's a profound honor. I can't say this loud enough. It's such an honor. It's such an honor. Okay, I can see that he's ready, and I'm ready to bring him in. It's such an honor to have him join us, reaching us all the way from London. Ladies and gentlemen, put your virtual hands together. Get ready. It's going to be an amazing episode. Um, there's a bit of a drag. I'm trying to get him into the studio. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. This kind of happened last week as well, right? Um, so I'm bringing him into the studio right now. Ha! Who are these people that don't want Pastor T to join us in the studio? I'm going to bring him into the studio right now. And okay, give me a second. Let us get this done. Pastor T, if you can see me in the back end, give me a thumbs up. I know you can hear me, but if you can see, give me a thumbs up. Okay, great, 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 great. And I think he's in right now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I had him in for about great, 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 great. I'm waiting to see him from my own end.
Absolutely great to be here.
Why am I not seeing Pastor Timmy from my
Thank you so much
great? I
for
see
having
him now.
me here. I'm super pumped, super happy, excited to be here. Wow, you're almost 6 years doing this. That's consistency, man. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We learned that from you.
Brilliant. It's great being here. It's great
we,
being here. Thanks for having me.
we learned
You know,
that
when
from
you
you.
were
It's such a
when you were
profound.
reading that profile, I was wondering who you are talking about. I was looking for the exit door, but I couldn't find it.
Okay, okay. Now you know that's what this is why Pastor Timmy, we honor you so much. We honor you so much, and I know that everybody that will be on this call will and do feel the same way as well, maybe even in higher shades and higher degree. It's great to have you here, Pastor Timmy. I have a question I usually ask, because the last time you were here, it was a sneak in. So this is your official first entrance, all right? My 149th guest, over 6 years. So I have a question I usually do ask people, and this is it. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for life because as long as there is life, there is more. The life itself holds so much
Mm,
potential and so much possibilities. As long as you are alive and well, there is more. Your best days are not behind you, your best days are before you, regardless of how old you are. Yeah. Your best days are still before you. So
mm.
I'm super grateful for life and the potential, the possibilities that life holds, the more that is ahead.
Amazing. Amazing, and I join you with that because once you have life, then it means that God still has a
Oh yeah,
business with you. he still gives He's still giving you an opportunity to walk and to
yes.
walk with Him, and I think that's just profound. That's just profound. So we're gonna get into it. It's the final episode of the Thing About Productivity series, and we have Dr. Temi ODEJIDE here with us. All right, so Dr. Temi, we're going to start off right now. The first question that I will start off before we get into other things will be, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when the word productivity comes into play? Or what's the first thing that pops into your mind, Dr. Tim?
We were created to be productive. I think that's whenever I hear the word productivity, I go right back to the book of beginnings. Whether everybody in the
Mm,
audience subscribes to the Bible or not, there is still so much wisdom to draw out of the Bible. So in the book of beginnings, we see God's first interaction with man, the first conversation that God would ever have with man, as recorded in the Bible, is in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. And he says, and God blessed them, and God said, this is the first recorded words to man. And God said, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. The first thing he said was, be fruitful. What is a fruit? A fruit is the product of a tree. So, in effect, when we decode what God was saying, man is be productive. God wants you and I, you and me, to be productive. The only pathway to dominion, which was God's intent for all of mankind, is through productivity. You are not going to be able to experience or walk in dominion in your sector, in your field, in your arena, without first of all learning how to be productive. So those are the first thoughts that come to my mind whenever I think about productivity.
right. Okay. Okay. Productivity, and I like the fruit. I like the fruit concept, fruit to the tree, and I will circle back to that in just a little bit. Now, like I said earlier, it's very hard to separate Pastor Temi, Dr. Temi from clarity. I heard clarity from 2003, 2004, all through. Clarity in this, there's a way clarity just finds its way into every message, into every conversation. You can't just walk down the corridor with Pastor T, Dr. T, and he will chip in clarity. Whether he uses that word or not, it always just lands there. Now, let's talk about that with relation to productivity. Is productivity an execution problem or a clarity
Oh,
problem?
100% productivity is first and foremost a clarity problem. You see, often when we are talking about solving productivity problems, we think about productivity tools when the real problem is a clarity problem. The first thing you need to sort out is clarity on what you are about, what your purpose is, what you want to achieve before you even start doing anything. Everyone today is looking for another app, another AI tool, another planner, but confusion with better technology is still confusion. Execution is really the first problem. The first problem is clarity. Until you are clear, you will say yes to the wrong things. You will chase someone else's goals. You will confuse urgency with importance. You will mistake motion for momentum. The greatest productivity hack is not better time management, it is actually better decision making. And decision making is governed by the clarity that you have.
All right, so we apologize. There's a bit of a delay, but then again, we're trying to work our way around that. So the last thing I heard you say, and by the way, there's a very heavy rainstorm right here in the city where I am. So it's kind of effective. But Pastor, let me let you get back to your thoughts. Apologies for interjecting. I just wanted to, just in case there was a gray area in our communication. But please let me let you get back to your thoughts on clarity and productivity.
Yes, I'm aware that there's a lag, so I'm deliberately pausing to allow what I've said get across to you. So if we factor in that delay time, we should be able to still have a very rich and productive.
Okay, so it appears that okay, I heard that. I heard that. Okay.
Over to you.
Productive, productive. I like the wordplay there. They're very rich and productive. I like how that came in. All right, so let's move forward nonetheless. Right, but you see, I like the analogy that you gave. I like the fruit and the tree thing. But then again, I'm still circling back. I'm still circling back on that question because one of the things that I highlighted and I thought to myself was, okay, so what I've taken out of what you said is there's productivity before performance. Um, if you don't have clarity, your performance will be hinged on vagueness. It will be hinged on uncertainty, and like you said, you'll be maybe pursuing another person's dream rather than recognizing your place in another person's dream. Because I also don't want people thinking, "Oh, as long as it's not my dream." No, you could have a place in someone else's dream that is in alignment with your own dream. But without clarity, you're going to struggle to know that this is where, and that's why we have seasons. So when it's the end of a season in another man's dream, then you will know when to proceed to another, and we could spend a day talking about that. Now, so if that be so and it is so, a follow up question there will now be, why is it that so many people work so hard. Could it be that many people are working hard simply because they don't have clarity about what really matters? Because look, a lot of people are putting in their hearts into stuff, and they're not getting the kind of fulfillment that they want. They're not getting the kind of progress that they think they ought to be getting. And you're wondering, hard work is not the problem here. What would you say to people like that?
I hear you what you're saying. And like I say, as a clarity coach, everything really starts with clarity. If you don't have clarity, clarity informs your vision. It informs your sense of purpose. Vision is a picture of a preferred future, your destination, where you want to ultimately get to that you are not at yet. Purpose is why you exist. These are things that need to be clear with you. Now, if those things are clear with you, then you can embark on the productivity journey, knowing that it is a journey. You don't arrive at the end in one day. So, in the course of that journey, you will have different stops. You will work with different people. You will contribute to other people's visions and dreams on the way to getting to your own end. In fact, the idea of I'm just building my own thing in isolation is an erroneous idea because we're all connected. Anything that is thriving is inside a meshwork of connection. So what I'm doing somewhere somehow interfaces with what somebody else is doing, and it is our complementation that truly blesses so many other people. Nothing of significance is achieved alone. So for that person that's like I'm working so hard, the person needs to pause and say, is this work This thing that I'm doing, is it in any way moving me towards my ultimate goal and vision? If it is moving you in that direction, even if it is slowly moving you there, you are on the right track. Don't get frustrated. Keep at it. It's still going to get you to the ultimate destination.
Mm. So the way that I like to say it. All right. Okay. I think I got yanked out at a time.
Yes,
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me clearly now, Pastor T?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So yes, yes, yes. All right. So what I was saying before I got yanked out of the studio was this: the way that I say. Right. The way that I say this is, look, the biblical Joseph in the Bible, he's a typology of every man. Now, Joseph has two attributes or two characteristics, if you will. One is the ability to dream. The second is the ability to interpret dreams. And I've often said that the ability to interpret dreams is actually even maybe more important or as important as the ability to dream, because your ability to interpret the dreams of other people is what takes you along the path where your dream is now realized. So there is absolutely no way, just to lend credence to what you were saying, that you can't become all that you are called to become in silos. You have to be able to recognize the part that you play in other people's journey for you to get on your own journey in the way that you should. I wanted to chip that in. So I have another question for you, Dr. Temi, and I want us to get a bit more technical now, right? I want us to get a bit more technical now. So we're in a generation of busyness. I saw a post you put up on Instagram. I think it was a couple of days ago. Um, Okay, do we have? Okay, it looks like Dr. Temi is out for a bit. Apologies for what we're dealing with today. There's a thunderstorm where I am, so the network is a bit affected, but we're going to have Dr. Temi join us again. It's still the conversation on productivity, the thing about productivity part three. And we've been having an explosive time so far with Dr. Tammy. One of the things that I was saying earlier, and I don't know if I was heard, was about how we have to be able to learn to play a part in other people's journey to be able to arrive at the end of our own journey. There is no becoming without your ability to you can't realize your dream, whatever your dreams are. You can't realize your dreams without an ability or the ability to be able to interpret the dreams of others. All right. And I also liked the analogy that Dr. Timmy gave with regards to his concept, his idea, and the first thing that comes to his mind when he hears of the word or the term productivity. And I think that's very interesting. Now, if you are on, whilst we're working to have Dr. Tammy come back into the studio, I would like to see comments. If you're here, please send in a comment. Let me see you. I'm seeing some comments on Facebook. I'm seeing some comments on YouTube as well. So let me know, and let me know what part of the world you're joining from. Whilst we're working to get Dr. Timmy back in the studio, so please tell me what country, what city you are joining the broadcast from, and then we will proceed with the conversation whilst I have Dr. Timmy coming back into the studio. All right. So we're doing a check to be sure that everything is okay from this end, and then we will proceed. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So I need to. I'm going to do something radical now to be sure that we're all good. So Dr. Timmy's in the back end, but I'm not seeing him from my end. So I'm going to refresh. Just hold on, everyone. We're going to refresh our studio live stream, and then in just a few seconds we'll be right back. Nothing can get in the way of this conversation. I promise you, nothing will get in the way of this conversation right now. A lot is happening. Like I said, there's a thunderstorm. There's a very heavy torrential rain happening in my neck of the wood right now, and maybe that's part of what is affecting this signal. But nonetheless, we're doing everything behind the scenes to ensure that we're we're back. Just Timmy, if you can hear me, just hold on. I'm going to have you right back in the studio right away. Okay, so we're trying to. All right, so we are back, and I'm gonna have Dr. Tammy back in the right
Yes,
now. So
I'm
we
here.
had to do some rebooting to be sure that, and also change the source. So I'm having Dr. Timmy right back in the studio with me, getting him in right now.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
All right. I was sure I had him in like a minute, for a second or so.
You do?
Uh, so this is what it means against all odds. This is what it means when we say against all odds. If you can, Dr. Temi, are you in? I'm
I am
getting
here.
signals that you're in, even though I'm not seeing you on my
I'm right here.
screen right now. All right, Dr. Temi, if you can hear me, if you can hear me,
Yes, I'm here. Aniakan, I'm here.
I am
Uh,
seeing signs that you're in, but I'm actually not seeing you on my screen. So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up.
yep. You've got a thumbs up. I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you.
If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, Dr. Temi. I'm actually not seeing you on my screen. That's why I'm asking. But I
Yes,
can
yes.
see signs that you're in. I can see your audio vibes,
I'm here. My
which
video
tells
is
me you're
not.
in the studio.
I can see you and I can hear you. I can see and hear you. I don't know why you can't see or hear me yet.
Okay, okay. So Pastor Temi, if you can see me, all right. I'm going to let's just go ahead. Because this is not about me. Everyone is here to see you. They're not here to see me, so it's fine. All right. Okay, so let's get a bit more technical, right? I was talking about the fact that I think everybody gets really busy. We're in a generation where there's a lot of busyness. Right, right. Absolutely. All right. So we live in a generation, right, Pastor Temi? We live in a generation where we celebrate business, whether by default, whether we don't know what the right KPIs are for measuring productivity. But there's a tendency to celebrate business. You have long meetings, emails, notifications. Right. No, it's fine if I can't see you, Pastor TV. As long as the audience can see you, they're here to see you, not see me. So it's great. All right, we'll fix that. But I really want to get you engaged. So I was talking about how when it's time and Ian where a lot of people celebrate business. You get email notifications, you get meetings, activity everywhere. Yet across board organized private sector, public sector, output is reducing. And there's data to back this up. So you said something about movement and momentum, and I wanted you to spend some time talking about that. What's the difference between movement and meaningful progress? Which, in other words, I'll tag as momentum. Dr. Temi, the floor is yours.
All right, let me try to help out here and hopefully help people. And it still comes back to that foundation of the need for clarity. Don't just jump into the race without knowing where the race is going. You see, too many people climb to the top of the ladder and then they rejoice at the top of the ladder, only to look again and find out that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. So you climbed up to the top of the wrong wall. So there's a need for you to have clarity about what you are about, what you want to achieve, where you want to go. Okay, this is extremely important. I like the things that you were saying earlier about busyness, how people can be. Um, right now, we live in a world where business is being exalted. I mean, we're proud to talk about I'm so busy as if it was a medal of honor. We've equated almost business as the new holiness. But your objective in life is not just to be busy. Your objective in life is to be making a difference, to be making impact. I've discovered something that is interesting, that busy is not always the opposite of lazy. because we think that, oh, if I am busy, then that means I am not lazy. Busy actually is often the opposite of focused. Sometimes the reason that we are so busy is because we are not focused. We've not streamlined down to exactly what are we about, where am I going. So at the end of the day, this is the question you should ask yourself every day. Don't ask yourself, was I busy today? You should ask yourself questions like, what changed because I was here? That's productivity. Busyness does not equate to productivity. What changed because of my contribution? What moved because I was here? Now, that is the first indication of true productivity. You see, there are different types of people. There are consumers, there are reactors, there are performers, and there are creators. The highest productivity belongs to the creators. Creators move the world while others simply react to it. So you need to be thinking about, how am I moving things? At the end of the day, what moved? What changed? What impact did I have on my world? If you want to go further, at the end of each week, you don't just ask, what did I do? You ask, what did I move? What decisions were advanced? What people were developed or changed? What problems were disappeared? And what systems were improved? Those are the type of questions that a leader uses to audit that they are not just being busy, they're actually being productive. Productivity creates positive change. Activity makes you tired. Progress, that's advancement, makes you fulfilled. Yeah. And so this is so key. I'm so passionate about this because even I am a very busy person, as you might imagine, occupied with so much every day, many things that I have to do. But I'm stopping to wear busyness as a badge of honor. No, that's not my badge of honor. My badge of honor is I'm having an impact, I'm moving thing, I'm actually advancing a cause. If there has been an advance in the cause that I'm pursuing, then I've been productive. I hope that's helpful. We're still dealing with the lag. I hope that Ania is still there. But I could go on and on talking about productivity. Maybe I should, rather than just leaving a gap here, waiting for him to be able to get back online speaking with us. So Ania, anytime you are back online in the studio, please feel free to interrupt. I'll know that you are here, and then I'll let you interject on what I am talking about. Going back to that first conversation, we talked about it a little bit earlier about God saying be fruitful, and being fruitful actually means be productive. So God always wanted us to be productive, but the productivity was not just an end in itself, it was a means to an end. What was God's real intent for each and every one of us? God's real intent for each and every one of us was to enjoy and experience dominion. It said that he wanted us to have dominion. And in that verse of Genesis chapter 1, he actually gives us the pathway to dominion that we often misconstrue in only spiritual terms and fail to decode it into practical terms. It says, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. In other words, it's saying that if you fulfill the earlier 4 steps, you will get to dominion. That's the purpose. That's the goal, that I'm expressing dominion in my space, in my sphere. I'm being a blessing to everybody around me. Okay. So it starts with being productive. Be fruitful, be productive. Being productive also talks about adding value. Wherever you go, you are adding value. Things are improving because of your presence. But then, and I want you to understand that when we talk about productivity here, we're not just talking about physical products, we're also talking about services. So your service is your product. You are created to be a creator. You are created in the image and the likeness of God. And the first time we are introduced to God is as creator. So you too are a creator. You are meant to be creative. You have creative capacity in you to produce something, whether it is a physical product, tangible product, or whether it is a service. But then he says, after being productive, he says, multiply. You've got to be able to scale your product. You've got to be able to multiply your services. All right. And between the productivity and the multiplication, there's what we call mastery. The mastery of your product or the mastery of your service, so that you can now multiply it. Because if you are multiplying mediocrity, nobody's interested in buying mediocrity. So you have to have mastered your product to the point where the multiplication makes sense, the scaling makes sense. Then you multiply. And these are the things that we need to understand. Anybody that you see that is experiencing dominion, the ultimate outcome of dominion, of fulfillment, of progress in life, you will find out that they are fulfilling these earlier things that we're talking about. They are productive, they're multiplying their product or their service, and then they're filling the earth with it. Filling the earth with it is talking about marketing and sales. You're pushing it out there. You're letting the world know this is what I do. And it's so much easier in the day that we're living in now. With a click of a button, your product can go global. You don't need to just be local. You can become global. And ultimately, it talks about subduing or subduing it, which is talking about dealing with competition. There will be those that are competing with you, offering a similar product to that which you are also offering. It says, don't be intimidated by people doing something similar to you, also putting out products there. Rather, distinguish your product. What makes your own product distinct, different, unique from other people's products? Your service, what makes it unique, different, and standing out from others? Now, when you master these 4 steps, then you enter into dominion. That is fully fruitful production, if you like, where you're walking in dominion, where you're walking in fulfillment. All right. It starts with be fruitful, which is to be productive, multiply, which is to scale your product or your service, fill the earth, which is to enter into marketing and sales, subdue, which is to deal with your competition, and then you will have dominion. These are just some keys. Can you imagine? From
Mm,
the first conversation between God and man, we see practical keys that we can apply in business, in corporation, in personal life, in so many arenas of our life. I can see that Aniakan is back on the screen now. I hope the lag has been reduced. Can you hear me? All right. So I've said,
absolutely.
I've said quite a
Absolutely.
bit. I'm quite sure you'll be able to catch up on the things I've said a little bit later. So let me throw the ball back into your court. Let's move this conversation forward.
Right, right, right. But I'm glad I got the last part of what you were saying. I the way that I always understood it was, be, do, have. So when you're looking at the concept of productivity, right? Like you rightly said, using the same scripture that you were referring to. So it says, be fruitful. Now, usually, and then have dominion, and in between that, there's a process. There's strategic activity, right? But the B means that a lot of people will think being fruitful is having dominion, but there's a B, which means that there's a state of mind, there's a clarity that you have before you can, and that ties in with what we were saying earlier when we were talking about clarity with regards to productivity and how important it is. And so I was really glad I caught that part of it. So now I'm going to have to go back and watch to get to be a part of it. But we're going to make the most of this. There was something I was asking earlier, right, which you already spoke to. I got that part about, all not don't just ask if, activity tires you out. I got that part because I was
Mm,
watching on another device whilst you were on, and asking yourself the right questions. So, and one of the question I was going to ask was, how do you, as a leader, which you really have spoken to already, but then again, I would like you to now maybe take this very personally. How do you, as a leader, track performance? beyond just you have a volunteer team or you have people on paid, and then people are just all around. They know how to say the right words, shuffle the right papers, and all of that. But the balance sheet does not reflect all the energy that we saw in the course of the past 30 days, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. So how do you, from your personal experience, how do you track? How do you track? Because it's someone else, someone here on this call might just need that pointer, that helps them zero in on whatever strategy they will now develop, suited to whatever industry or space that they're in. Dr. T.
The way you ultimately track it is again about your clarity of the vision to the point of breaking it down where the cleaner sees how he or she is contributing to the
Can I be
ultimate
heard?
vision. Can you hear me? So even the cleaner, the ability of you to communicate. You see, leaders, one of the greatest skills a leader needs is that skill of communicating, because no matter how great your vision is, if you cannot communicate that vision clearly, it's going nowhere. So now your ability to communicate the vision of your organization, break it down where the cleaner sees how his cleaning is still contributing to the bottom line. He might not be the executive in the office. He might not be the CFO, the CEO, the VP. He might not occupy any of those positions. But if he can see that even this my small role, quote unquote, is still contributing to the bottom line, then that person can have self-motivation to do their part. And now I can hold him responsible for that his part. He's now able to see the value of his part, and I can hold him responsible for that part. So now my job as the leader is to be able to interpret to each person, each cog in the wheel, how vital their part is to the whole picture. And they can start to see that when I drop the ball, it doesn't just affect them, it affects the whole picture, and it affects the ultimate outcome of impact of change that we are trying to achieve. And this is where we're starting to elevate people from just doing tasks to actually pursuing vision. I don't know whether that's helpful. Aniaka has dropped from the screen here once again. I don't know whether he's still back there in the background, but I can push it a little bit further while we are waiting for him to jump on board. If you would want me to continue, just do let me know. You see, the greatest leaders don't just simply get work done. They build people and systems that get the work done. And the only way you are able to do that is not just by delegating tasks, it's actually by delegating responsibilities. And you only do that when you are able to clearly communicate vision down to the smallest cog in the wheel. So level one of the delegation process, if you like, is I do it. Then I show you how to do it. Then I help you to do it. And then I hand it over to you to do it. Then the system takes over. The system does it. And ultimately, leadership is ultimately about building systems that are now operating independent of you. Systems start to operate independent of you. Leadership is ultimately about effective delegation. So the leader is actually releasing so much off his table where he's able to focus on the more strategic thing. If everything depends on you, you've built dependency, not leadership. The test of leadership isn't what happens when you are present, it's what happens when you are absent. If the everything continues to function and maybe even function better in your absence, that's the proof that you have developed a system. a structure that functions independent of you. Jesus spent 3 years with preparing his disciples, and then he left the scene, but the movement did not decrease, it accelerated. And that wasn't accidental, that was deliberate, that was leadership. Managers increase activity, leaders multiply capacity. Your success is measured by what you accomplish. Your leadership is measured by what continues without you. Aniakan is back. So over to you, Aniakan. Can you hear me? All right. I can't hear you right now, Aniakan. I can see that you are saying some things, but I can't hear it. Maybe you just quickly check your microphone connection. I could say so much. Oh my goodness. I could say so much, but is it okay I go ahead, or we try to get to hear you? All right. I don't know what's happening today. The network is just it's getting in our way, but I really hope that people are still getting some good stuff. I hope you're getting some truths. I hope that you're getting impacted by despite the interruptions and so on and so forth. There was something that myself and Ekan were talking about even before we started came on air today, and he was talking about thinking. He was talking about a lot of the time people don't celebrate people sitting down to think, because and all of that. And I was just trying to reiterate that you've got to think your way clear. So in other words, you've got to spend time thinking. We underestimate thinking because nobody applauds someone sitting quietly in the corner somewhere, meditating and thinking through stuff. And meanwhile, thinking might not look like productivity, but it is actually one of the most productive things you could ever do. Before you act, take time out to think. As a doctor, I'm a medical doctor by training, the diagnosis determines the treatment. A wrong diagnosis with excellent treatment still produces poor outcomes. Okay, so I've got to get the diagnosis right. And the only way I'm going to get the diagnosis right is when I sit down to think about the various symptoms, I've taken the various inputs, I think it through, then I'm able to say, okay, this is a diagnosis, and I'm able to chart a proper pathway for resolution. Likewise, poor thinking plus hard work rarely ends well. Poor thinking, even though you are working hard, but if you didn't think well about your purpose, your vision, your goals, what really matters, is still not going to produce the fulfillment that you want. Most people don't have a work deficit. Men, particularly us, we are such hard workers. We work so hard. They have a thinking deficit. They haven't stopped to really think through their way forward. You can never consistently, listen to this, you can never consistently outperform the quality of your thinking. You can never consistently outperform the quality of your thinking. The level of your thinking is the level of your life. Low thinking, low life. High thinking, high life. Let me put it this way. Thinking determines decisions. Decisions determine direction. Direction determines destination. Good thinking, good decisions. Good decision, right direction. Right direction right destination. Do you get it? So it starts with thinking. Everything begins with thinking. So you've got to audit your thinking. You've got to have what is called metacognition, the ability to think about what you're thinking about and then make the adjustments, change your thinking to the right way of thinking. People admire what you produce, but they rarely appreciate how long you spent thinking before you produced it. All of these conversations is to provoke your thinking, is to change your thinking, is to get you to take time out to sit down and think again about what your purpose, what your goal, and what your vision is about. All right. We are just at the 8 o'clock mark. I know we've had a lot of interruptions. I'm willing to go beyond 8 o'clock if Aniekan is happy with that, and if your audience is happy with that. Aniekan he's saying go on. Okay, I hear you. Even though I see you, I can't hear you yet, but I see you. Maybe you can hear me, obviously. But yeah, great. Okay, so let's see what else should I throw in there for your people, for my people, for everybody that is tuned in and that is listening. You know, I've had some conversations with extremely successful people, incredibly successful people, but yet they are deeply unfulfilled because success and significance are not identical. Because what brings fulfillment is not necessarily success as much as it is purpose, the fulfillment of purpose. It is achieving purpose that brings real fulfillment. So they are successful, but there's something inside saying that that's not what really I'm about. So I'm not feeling it. I'm not fulfilled. So success does not automatically translate to fulfillment unless it is success in purpose. So this is why, again, you have to be clear on what is my purpose. What am I about? Success in the wrong assignment is still failure. Success in the wrong assignment is still failure with applause.
Okay, I heard that. I heard that. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can hear. I can hear you now. You're back.
I heard that one, and we're taking the conversation up from there. So now this is an interesting part I was waiting for. And apologies to everybody. The network is doing the most today, and that's why we are going over 8 o'clock. So please forgive me. And I'm holding on to the hem of his garment, right? So here we are. Now, Pastor Temi, a lot of because success in the wrong direction, right? You said is failure with an applause. Unpack that, sir.
Look, do you know that cancer is successful?
It's a growth,
because
right?
It's a growth. It's a growth. And it's successfully growing. Yeah. But my goodness, it's killing somebody. It's killing somebody. The cancer crowd that we don't see is clapping for cancer. You're doing your job. You're growing. You're so not all growth is good growth.
True.
Cancer is growth without order. It's growth without order, without a defined purpose, without the value that it is contributing to a bigger system and network. So it's successful, but it is bad success. It's not bringing fulfillment. It's success in the wrong direction. Hitler was successful for a certain period of time.
Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back a bit because so we're not right or wrong. We're talking about the wrong direction.
Yes.
We're talking about the wrong direction. What does the wrong direction look like? Because I think people need to understand. I mean, a lot of people struggle even understanding what success looks like. A lot of people struggle understanding what winning looks like. What does wrong direction look like? Because for many of them, is it a function of this is not where I am meant to be in line with my purpose, or it's not necessarily a negative thing. You the right thing, but not your right thing. I don't know if you understand where
Mm,
I'm coming from on this. So, what
mm.
does the wrong direction feel like, taste like, smell like, look like?
Okay, very good question that you asked right there. Now, there are some external indications to the right direction. Now, of course, your your whatever you are pursuing, you've got to be able to define clearly how is it benefiting others? What
Mm,
value is it adding to others? It can't just be about the value it's adding to you. It's about the value it's adding to others, the life change that it's impacting on others. Okay. Now, if it is adding value to others, then it's very likely that's a right direction, a right pursuit. Okay. Um, then you have to also check the alignment with your own capacities, your own giftings, your own callings. So I'm looking at what are the gifts, the talents, the competencies that God has given me, and then I'm going along the lines that where I'm able to utilize those gifts and those talents to add value and to change lives. If I am forcing myself into a mold that is not me, that's not my gift, it's not my calling. Oh, because everybody is doing podcasts, I must do podcasts. Because everybody sings, I must sing. But it's not really my calling, my gifting, the natural things that God
mm,
has given to me. Then I might be successful. I might even have a measure of success, but because it's not what I was created for, which I am able to identify if I do the deep work of thinking and studying myself, I'm still not going to be fulfilled. You see, when Messi or Ronaldo, whoever your persuasion is on the pitch doing their
mm,
stuff, it is obvious that wow, this is what he was created to do. This is there's something that is feeding him, even as he's blessing all of us with his gifts and his talents. There's a place when you are operating in your gift, listen to me, where your gift starts to give back to you, where you know that this is what I'm called to. Sometimes I'm teaching and I'm getting as excited, as inspired, as blessed as even the people that are listening to me, because I'm functioning in what I was created to do. And there are times when I'm doing things outside of my gifting, outside of my talent, outside of how I was created. Sometimes you just have to do those things, but you shouldn't be doing those things day in, day out, because at the end of the day, it's not feeding you, it's not refreshing you, it's not recreation to you, recreating you, it's draining you. Yeah. I hope that's helpful to somebody. We're having the delay again. Did you get me? Did you get me? Did you get me?
mm, 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 mm. Okay, that was. I mean, I said unpack. I didn't say release the dam. That's a flood. That's a flood, Pastor Temi. That's a flood. You just flooded the whole place. I just said unpack, and you flooded everywhere. All right, but I'm still on this now. There's a challenge that I get to talk to a lot of people, and there's a challenge that they have. Because this directly ties in now to we've gone to the very roots, the rudiments of productivity. What enables, not even enhances, what enables productivity, and then you can now look at productivity enhancers. And so you have a lot of people struggling with purpose. You keep talking about clarity. Clarity is absolutely important. I say all the time that pay attention to the things that you naturally like, and pay attention to the things that you naturally irritate you, because embedded in that is, number one, the things that you are given to, number two, the problems that you are called to solve.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at, is it possible, I guess this is where my question is going to, is it possible to have a purpose that you are not equipped for? Asking for a friend, is it possible to have a purpose that you are not equipped for? Is it possible by any chance? so that we
Um,
settle that in that area. I know where I'm going to with this.
you see, I would say God will equip you. If he's the one giving you the purpose, he's going to equip you. If he's the one giving you the purpose, if it's the God-given purpose, he will equip you for it. Or you are
Can
already
I be
equipped for
heard?
it. Yes, you can be heard. I don't know whether you can hear me, but I can hear you. He will equip you, or he has already equipped you. You just haven't discovered the equipment. Okay? But you see, God would not give authority responsibility without giving authority. It's the same thing that he will not give assignment without giving you the tools to fulfill the assignment. So even if it seems like you don't have the tools are available. The tools, you just haven't seen them. And let me tell you something about most of us, a whole lot of us. The things that come easy to us, we overlook. But you fail to realize that what is easy to you is not necessarily easy for the rest of the world. And that is actually where your purpose, your gifting
Yeah, I can hear you.
is is it's in your competence, is in what you are naturally given to. Yeah. So God will not give you a purpose that he will not equip you for, or that he has not already equipped you for, but that you haven't just discovered the equipment, you haven't studied the equipment. Now, of course, you're going to have to improve in varied competencies. Even if you have a talent, you're going to improve in that talent, and there are skills that you're going to have to acquire. But God is not going to give you a purpose that he's not going to equip you for, or that he hasn't already equipped you for, that you just haven't discovered the equipment. I hope that's helpful to somebody.
Okay, so I have this as a follow up to that. I'm sorry, I had a bit of glitch. Sorry, Dr. Timmy, I had a bit of glitch on my end. I'm sorry, Dr. Timmy, if you can hear me. I had a bit of glitch. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have a bit of glitch on my end. I couldn't.
I can hear you.
Okay, now I'm hoping that the delay isn't causing a bit of chaos. I had a bit of glitch on my end, so I had to go quickly to Facebook to catch what you were saying and then come back to the studio. The network is a mess. But let me give a follow up to that, to what you said. God will never give you a purpose without equipping you. And there's something I say all the time. Number one, two profound truths that I hold very dear to my heart. Number one, you are wired to win, and there's a scriptural backing for this. And number two, you're equipped to excel, which is literally what you just said. Now, here's the question I always ask following up for that. How can you excel when you don't know, one, what you're equipped with, two, how to use equipment, or three, what excelling looks like? How do you know how do you what does being wired to win do for you if number one, you don't know what winning looks like, number two, you don't understand the configuration of your wiring so that you can identify, utilize, and maximize it, and number three, if you don't even, you're not even aware. In other words, so God equips you, but if you don't pay attention to your equipment, don't know how to use your equipment, don't know in other ways to adapt your equipment, how you therefore you're going to be able to excel and fulfill purpose? And I want which is literally what I've been saying for years. I don't know if I can be heard.
You can be heard.
I don't know if I can be heard. I'm
You can be
having a
heard.
real. This is giving
I
me
can
a
hear you.
heartache right now. I don't know if I can be heard. Pastor
I
Simi, can
can
you hear
hear
me?
I hear you loud and clear, and I get your question. Let me tell you the answer to that question as regards how do you know? How do you even know what winning is?
Can I
How do
be
you know
heard?
how do you know what your equipment is? How do you get to
Okay, I
know?
can be heard. I hear I can be heard. So I was talking about the fact that two profound statements that I say: one, you're wired to win; two, you're equipped to excel. And I was talking about, okay, now that we know that God will never give you, will never equip you if He has. I mean, He will never give you a purpose without equipping you. Now, I want us to talk about the responsibility of being able to rightly use your equipment, rightly deploy your equipment, rightly manage your equipment.
I hear you what you're saying, and I think those are very, very good questions that you're asking. This is where the place of mentors and coaches come into the picture, because there are a lot of things even about ourselves that we cannot discover all by ourselves, that you need other people in your life, in coaches, in mentors, that are able to give you lights, that are able to cause you to see what you haven't seen before, to even cause you to look at yourself in a way that you haven't looked at yourself before. In fact, part of the benefit of the Connect interviews is to bring light, to cause people to look again and say, whoa, my goodness, I need to change. I need to tweak this and tweak that. And this is how you start to discover more and more your giftings, your talents, your competencies. There are multiple people through my journey that have said that in the course of listening to me and hearing me is when they discovered, oh my, what I've been overlooking is actually what God has given me to get me to where He wants me to be. I need to stop overlooking it. So the place of mentors and coaches become key in you being able to even identify some of your equipment, some of your gifts, some of your talent, and even for you to have mentors that have gone ahead of you that can show you the ropes. It doesn't mean you're going to replicate exactly what they did, but you're going to learn from what they did to now do what God is calling you to do. I think those are very key helps on the journey to identifying your gifts, your talents, and your equipment, and then learning how to use and to maximize them. That's why we are here. That's why you are here. As you are pursuing your vision and goals, you're also equipping and empowering and teaching and giving light to others to find theirs and to fulfill theirs.
Okay, so I'm following you on Facebook, and I'm also getting some inputs as regards your response. Mentors.
Coaches,
Okay, so Pastor Temi, I have totally. This is like putting barbecue chicken in my mouth and pulling it out. This is how this episode has been for me. Like I am getting a taste and the network is just yanking it out of my mouth. I'm trying to get a bite and the network is yanking it out of my mouth. I am struggling here. And this wasn't how this was supposed to be. We're about 20 minutes past the hour. I would love to have the conversation go further, but I honestly am having a hard time even connecting. I'm gonna have to go back to watch. But Pastor Timmy, there's something I'm gonna need you to do. You know I will ask. I'm sure the moment the networks start going Ari, you know I will ask. When will you be back?
okay. We'll look at how to do
Because
that.
we need to have you back on the connect. We need to do this again properly.
You know that we have a whole lot of history over decades. So I'll be happy to be back. Let's just work on behind the scenes on the infrastructure. All this internet thing. I know that there's many issues in Nigeria with whatever. But we've got to find the solves to be able to be effective in our communication. I'm happy to be back, man. Let's schedule it. Let's make it happen. I'm hopeful that the audience really got something out of all of this tonight. I'm really, really hopeful they did, despite the technical
All
issues.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pastor Temi. We're definitely um, okay. All right. So we're definitely gonna have it. We're gonna make it happen. We're definitely gonna make it happen. Apologies to everybody. I know. See, the truth of the matter is that from the feedback that I'm getting, you guys were hearing Pastor Temi 100. So you guys got today. I'm the one that was. I'm the one in the deficit here. Um, but we need to. I need to enjoy this as much as you did. So we're definitely gonna make it happen. And Pastor Temi, trust me, we're gonna have to talk behind the scenes on this. So I just want to say massive thank you. So guess what? Now Pastor Temi will return as the 200, as the 150th guest. All right, as the 150th guest. Pastor Temi, I want to say a big thank you. Thank you that in spite of everything, I mean, you showed this is tenacity in work. This is resilience in work. In spite of the network, the hitches, and all of that, you stayed true. I mean, there were times that you were the only one in the studio, and of course, I mean, needless to say, you held forth and all of that. I am thankful, very, very thankful. We're going to reschedule this. We're going to have, we're going to further and deepen the conversation. So, guys, if you got whatever you got today, take it as the iceberg. There's a whole lot beneath that we're going to bring right to the top. To everybody who stayed true, friends of those from Pastor Tami's community. I can see quite a number, quite a few. For those from the Value Exchange community, I see you as well. Thank you everybody for joining us. I'm just going to go jump back on Facebook and YouTube and spend the next 1 hour something minutes just watching the replay. I think the issue was primarily domiciled to my end, so I hope you guys got way more than I did, and we're looking forward to having Pastor Temi back. He's busy. He's productive. We'll have to just find a way to squeeze ourselves into his calendar, and then we'll have him back soon enough. Soon enough, while we're keeping this conversation fresh and hot. All right. So thank you everyone. Sorry we couldn't attend to your questions. I'm seeing comments on the chat. Also, sorry we couldn't attend to that because there's a bit of a glitch, so I can't even read them out as such. Unless I start going to another portal and all of that, we'll have everything sorted out and put rightly in place. Thank you, everybody, and have a great Super Week. It's the last week of July. Make it count. Thank you, Pastor Temi. Pastor Temi, final words before I let you go. Final words.
Final words: productivity isn't measured by how full your calendar is. It's measured by how empty the gap is between your potential and your impact. Bridge that gap between your potential and your impact. That's where productivity lives, not in how full your calendar is. God bless you, Aniek, and thank you so much for having me. God bless everyone that has been able to stay tuned, and look forward to seeing you again. Peace out.
Bridge the gap between potential and impact. I'm gonna have to tweet that or X that first thing tomorrow. Bridge the gap between your potential and your impact. Thank you again. Thank you again, Pastor T. Thank you again. Fantastic. Thank you again. Have a great night. Everybody who joined us today. To everybody who joined us today, I want to say a big thank you. We apologize for the technical issues that we had. It was quite a lot with the thunderstorm that we were having, quite a torrential rain. And we will have Dr. Temi back soon enough, and we will have this conversation reignited. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you have questions, you can still send them in on the portal, whatever platform that you are, YouTube, Facebook, and then we'll get the questions across to him, and also will form part of our conversation next time. We'll keep you posted, and again, we look forward to the 6th anniversary of the Connect on the 9th of August. Have a good night, everybody, and God bless. Again, thank you, and thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Cheers.